Hello students, we continue with Standard 10's Chapter 1 in Geography, that is Resources and Development. In our previous video, we understood the definition of resources, their types, we understood the word sustainable resources, and lastly the need for resource planning. Now let us go further. Our next topic is land resources. We know that land is very important. There is a very important resource because we are very much dependent on it for a variety of activities like building houses, doing agriculture, building industries, etc. Even wildlife is dependent on land. Hence, land becomes a very important resource. If we look at India, we have various landforms in our country like mountains, plateaus, plains and islands. Take a look at the below diagram, and the distribution of this is of course self-explanatory. So now let us understand for what purposes land is used. First we have forest, that is of course land where we find dense forests. Second is land not available for cultivation, that is where nothing can be grown. Here we have again two types of land, one which is totally barren and second where nothing can be cultivated here, as these are used for building houses, buildings, roads, factories, etc. Third purpose is we have other uncultivated land, that is uncultivated land besides the barren and land put to non-agricultural use, that is for example grazing grounds, land under miscellaneous tree crop groups, and lastly land which has been left uncultivated for more than 5 years. Fourth, we have fallow lands, meaning uncultivated land. Again, these are of two types: land which has not been cultivated for more than 1 or less than 1 agricultural year. I am coming to that. And the other is land which has not been cultivated for the past 1 to 5 agricultural years. Now what is agricultural year? This is typically referring to the period of time during which a particular region or a country carries out its agricultural activities such as planting, harvesting and cultivation. For example, in India, the agricultural year typically begins in July and ends in June of the following year, whereas in the United States, the agricultural year is defined as the 12-month period from October 1st through September 30th. Fifth and last, we have the net sown area, which means that this is the land where crop is grown at least once in a year. Okay? And again, gross cropped area, what does this refer to? Refers to the area sown more than once in a year plus the net sown area, that is which is grown at least once in a year, where crop is grown at least once in a year. So with this we complete our topic on land utilization. Let us go further now. Now let us understand the land use pattern in India. Take a look at the figure given in your textbook. Same figure. This data again gives us information of how much area of land is used where. Okay, the figure is again self-explanatory and you can go through it. It is just for your knowledge. We know that the use of land is determined by various factors like topography, climate, soil type, population, density, etc. And as far as India is concerned, the total geographical area is 3.28 million square kilometers. However, from this, only 93% land's data is available with us today. The rest 7% we don't have any proper data available with us. Why? This is because the area is either Pakistan occupied or it is occupied by China. This is the land that is the disputed area, and hence we do not have proper data available with us for this rest of the 7% land area. Now, coming back to the net sown area in India, well, it differs greatly from state to state. For example, like in Punjab and Haryana, it is 80%. That is, the land sown for land used for agriculture is almost 80%, whereas in Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Manipur, Andaman Nicobar Islands, it is less than 10%. Right? So you can see it is varying from state to state. Now coming to forest area in our country, this is far lower than the desired 33% of geographical area as outlined in the National Forest Policy in 1952. Okay, the National Forest Policy has stated that minimum forest area should be 33%, right? But in our country it is less than 33%. Why? Number one, what is the reason? It has to be at least 33%. Reason is, number one, to maintain the ecological balance, we must have at least 33% forest in India. And number two, reason is because livelihood of millions of people who live here depends on it. Clear? Land degradation and conservation methods. We know that over time the quality of land declines, and this is what we call land degradation. It is a term used to describe how a piece of land loses value and productivity, usually as a result of some human activity. So what is the reason for this land degradation? Number one is deforestation, that is cutting down of trees. Second is over irrigation, that is giving too much of water on the land, which makes the land alkaline or saline. Third is there is a lot of dust thrown on the land because of the cement industries, making the land unfit for cultivation, and industrial waste which is thrown out on the land, and overgrazing are a few factors that contribute to land degradation. So how can we save our land from this? Land degradation can be somewhat contained by increasing tree plantation, that is afforestation, managing the overgrazing of grass, proper irrigation, that is giving only the required amount of water, limiting mining activities, and lastly treating industrial waste before discharging it. Now we come to the last topic of this chapter, that is soil as a resource. We know that the topmost layer of the land is known as soil, and it is the most important renewable natural resource. It is again the medium of plant growth, that is, it provides plants with essential nutrients, water, and support for their roots. The composition and characteristics of soil play a crucial role in determining the health and productivity of the plants. Second, soil supports different types of living organisms on the earth. Third, it consists of organic materials, that is, which comes from living and decaying organisms such as plants, animals, and microorganisms, and inorganic materials which are made up of minerals and non-living components. These are formed by the weathering of rocks and minerals. So it consists of organic and non-organic materials also. Now, coming to the classification of soils. First, we have alluvial soil, which is the most widely spread and important soil. These have been deposited by the three important Himalayan river systems, that is Indus River, Ganga River, and the Brahmaputra. These soils also extend to Rajasthan and Gujarat. Crops here you will find are sugarcane, paddy, wheat, and other cereal and pulse crops. This is due to the high fertility in these regions, and cultivation is high over here, and even the area is highly populated. Second, we have black soil. As the name says, the soil is black in color, and this is also known as regur soil. It is ideal for growing cotton and also known as black cotton soil. It is found in the plateaus of Maharashtra, Saurashtra, Malwa, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, and extends in the southeast direction along the Godavari and Krishna valleys also. Third, we have the red and yellow soils. This is found in parts of Orissa, Chhattisgarh, southern parts of the Middle Ganga plain and the Piedmont zone of the Western Ghats. The reddish color of the soil is again due to the diffusion of iron in crystalline and metamorphic rocks. Fourth, we have the laterite soil, meaning brick in Latin. These soils are mainly found in Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh and the hilly areas of Orissa and Assam. Again, this area is useful for growing tea and coffee. Fifth is the arid soils, ranging from red to brown in color. And these are found in arid or semi-arid regions which receive low amount of precipitation and have high rates of evaporation. In India, arid soils are predominantly found in the western and northwestern parts of the country, including Rajasthan, Gujarat and Haryana and Punjab. And sixth and last, we have the forest soils. This is found in the hilly and mountainous areas where sufficient rainforests are available. Lastly, we have soil erosion and conservation. Let us take soil erosion first. Soil erosion means the denudation, that is the stripping or removal of the soil cover, that is the topsoil, and subsequent washing down of it. The process of soil formation and erosion goes on simultaneously, and generally there is a balance between the two. Now, obviously we know that due to soil erosion there is loss in the fertility of soil. Now there are three types of soil erosions. First one is gullies. These are formed when the running water cuts through the clayey soils and makes deep channels. And when such gullies are formed in the Chambal basin, it is called ravines. Sheet erosion, second one. This is when water flows over large areas down as slopes. The top, what happens is the top soil gets washed away. Okay, this is known as sheet erosion. And lastly, you have water erosion, that is when wind blows loose soil off the flat or sloping land. This is known as water erosion. Soil conservation. This can be done through various ways. First, we have through contour farming, as you can see in the picture. This is an agricultural practice that involves planting crops across the slope of the land, following the contour lines of the terrain. You can see in the picture. In this type of farming, crops are planted in rows that run perpendicular to the slope of the land. This helps to slow down the flow of water across the surface of the soil, reducing the risk of erosion and allowing water to soak into the ground. Second, we have terrace farming. In this method, it is a method of cultivating crops on steep slopes or hillsides by creating a series of level traces or steps, as you can see in the picture. This technique is used for minimizing soil erosion and maximizing the use of available land for agriculture. Strip cropping. This is the third type, where large fields are divided into strips and in between grass is grown so that it breaks the force of the winds. Lastly, you have the shelter belts. Here large trees are grown in between so that the strong winds blowing slow down the wind and they do not damage the crops. With this, we come to the end of this lesson. Thank you for watching.